Another important component of Windows 10 is having the ability to view different events when events occur in Windows. Now, an event can be an error, it can be a warning, it can be an alert message, but events are going to help us determine what kind of issues we're having and help us troubleshoot those issues. The most common way we're going to do that is through a tool called the Event Viewer. Okay, so we're going to open the Event Viewer up now. I'm going to go down to Search. I'm just going to type the word event. You could go through Control Panel and go to Administrative Tools and get there that way. You can right-click the Start button and get there. There's various ways you can get into this. I'm going to open up Event Viewer now. And sometimes Event Viewer can take a little while to load just because there's a lot of logs. But when I expand Windows Logs, I can click on my different logs that I've got available. All right. So I got Application Log. The Application Log is going to contain events related to applications. So if you've been running programs on your machine, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all that, this is going to be logging that types of things. So if a log or something closes, or I'm sorry, an application or something closes, it's going to log that here in the Event Viewer. If it crashes, you're getting errors or warnings, that's where that's going to show up. Okay. You have the security log. This is also called the audit log. So Windows is going to write down things that it's doing and things that it's dealing with using the Event Viewer security log. All right. Another thing, this takes a little time to load if you got a lot of log entries, but this is going to be your audit log. And as you can see, I got all these little key symbols here, and I can look at those, and pretty much anything that my user account does, any type of thing it's doing involving its authority, it's going to log an entry there. It's going to log when I log on and all of that stuff. Okay. Again, applications are going to show you application logs. There's an error right there for you. You can see it's talking about activation. I have the setup log. The setup log is going to be involve me installing things. So if I'm going through there and I'm installing, updates or applications, any of that, those types of things, the setup log is going to log that for me. Okay. So these are mostly involving updates here. And then if I look at the system log, I can see things related to my operating system. So types of errors and things that I get, warnings. Like you can see, I got an error here. This was a Windows RM, Windows Remote Management error. I got some warnings here. You can also double click on these. And if you double click on the entries, it'll bring it up, center it on the screen for you. And from there, it gives you some information about what the event involves. You can even look up the event ID numbers. There's actually a website called eventid.net. You can go there and look up these codes, these event ID codes, and it's got people on there that talk about troubleshooting it and trying to fix it and all that. Microsoft's knowledge base also has a lot of that. Okay, another thing you can do is you can do forwarded events. Forwarded events allow me to forward my event logs to other machines or have other machines forward them to me. You have to do that, though, through the subscriptions area here. So I can go to subscriptions, and it'll ask you, if this is the first time you've ever been here, it's going to ask you to turn that on, okay? And you'll notice from a previous example, I had an error for one. But I can right-click this. I can say Create a Subscription. All right, let me zoom out. I got to give the subscription a name. So maybe if I wanted to gather events from my domain controller, I'm going to call this the NYC-DC1 subscription. Of course, you could name it anything you want. Now, there's two ways to collect events from another machine, okay? You can use collector initiated, which the computer that's going to receive the events from another computer is called the collector. Okay, the computer that generates the events that you're collecting, they're called the source computer. So I could do collector initiated, where this computer goes and gets the events that it wants, or I could do source initiated, where the computer would send it to me. All right. I'm going to have this computer go collect the events, so I'm going to click Select Computers, and at that point I would add the computer that I want to collect events from. Maybe I want to add my NYC-DC1 computer there, and then at that point you would want to run a test to make sure it's going to work, and of course it does work. It uses the WinRM service to do that. Okay, and at that point I would click OK, and then I'm going to select events that I want to collect. So I'm gonna click on the select events here. All right, and then I can choose which events that I care about. All right, so let me zoom in on that for you. We'll say Critical, errors, and warnings, those are the things that I want to look at. Critical usually involves some kind of performance-related thing. Error, something breaks. Warning is just something's broken, but it didn't necessarily, stop anything from doing its job. So I can go here, click this, choose the logs that I want. Maybe I want to do all of them. Okay. From there, I can actually choose the ID numbers if I care about specific ID numbers, keywords. I can pinpoint specific users I want to be monitoring, computers I want to look at. I can specify all that there, and then I can click OK. And then I've now created my little subscription, and at that point it would start syncing the log entries. Now the log entries, as they get synced to my computer, they're going to show up right here under forwarded events. One more thing I want to show you on that. I can actually adjust, I can filter events. If I come up here to custom views, I can right click that, I can say create a custom view, and I can filter the same way you just saw. I can select what I want and filter. I'm just going to select errors, warnings, alerts. I'm going to call these important events, okay? And then at that point, this filter is only going to show me the stuff that I told it to show me. So here's the things that have gone on in my log. Okay, now the other thing you understand is these logs, as time goes on, they'll overwrite older entries as the log fills up. Now let's say you did not want Windows to overwrite old events. So I could go to a log like this application log, okay? I could come over here and go to the properties of it. Okay, now I want you to look closely here, right down here. It says do not overwrite events. So if I did not want Windows to overwrite old events, I could do that. Keep in mind that if your hard drive ran out of space, it would not log anything. But usually the reason why you do the overwrite of older events is so that it doesn't fill up your hard drive. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a decent understanding of the Windows Event Viewer, how it works. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. I definitely encourage you to open it up and take a look at it.